And we're back with more exciting adventures of the Incredible Hokes. I am Chris.
I am Mark.
And I'm about to burp. It's like right here.
Uh-oh.
I can feel it. I had a big old swig of sweet tea in between, and it's sort of boiling up. So this show's time length might be dictated by the need to go to the bathroom or something. Anyway, having said that, part three of our culture. We gotta call this a series because you and I haven't talked about that. This is like a whole culture thing. This has gone beyond sports. This has gone beyond movies. It's not even really politics. It's more of a culture thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like a state of the culture.
Yes, Culture and Crisis, part 3.
Yes, that makes it sound fancy.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. You know, we can do a podcast on Patreon. Like I could just make this the audio and put this on as a podcast on Patreon.
Hey, that works.
I might do both. I might do.
I'll try not to slap the mic this go around.
Oh, I kicked it several times. It's like right here. You can see it on the video. Like the stand is right there. So
see, I've watched too many action movies. We have to have explosions, every 5 minutes.
Okay.
Bam.
So as the whole red blue map thing will show us, you pretty much have 3 countries. You have the coast, Middle America,
and the left coast.
It's 3 countries basically. Most of the media is all located in the 2 coasts. So like the anthem thing. The anthem thing is a big deal to Middle America. It's not a small thing.
Yeah.
To me, it didn't ruffle my feathers near as much as it did a lot of people. But then again, I think people that watch the show religiously, and you should know, I'm pretty secular, don't give a shit type of guy, I think.
You're certainly independent-minded, for sure.
Well, and you're definitely evangelical, and you're conservative, and those type of things. And so people know that as well. So me, like, I don't know, there ain't a whole lot of things that get too, I don't know. I guess politically there's not too much that gets under my skin too much. I don't know. I'm getting really tired of the racism. Racism has been devalued. Like they call it too often that it's been devalued. Like it's like Nazi. You can't call everybody a Nazi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. If you go to that
you devalue who really is a bad guy.
Right.
You devalue who really is a racist. Sexism, who you're devaluing who really is a sexist. You can't call everybody out all the time. You devalue when it really does apply.
Yeah. So
I'm getting a little weary of that,
and people they'll tune it off, which is a bad thing because when an incident happens and it is an actual racist, you of course want to shine light on it. So you don't want to go to that well too often where people tune such out.
Yeah.
You don't want to be insensitive to that kind of stuff. We absolutely want to stamp that out when it rises for sure.
Yeah, and we've had the Weinstein thing has that's the new crisis.
Yeah, so a lot of light on sexual harassment in the workplace.
Yeah, there was and especially in Hollywood, which I think is kind of interesting that the Hollywood's eating its own right now.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Spacey, Weinstein. I saw a thing today that apparently Corey Haim was raped by Charlie Sheen on the set of Lucas. That came out today. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah.
Holy.
Apparently, it's been Corey Haim said years ago that he was raped on the set of Lucas, and a guy came out today and said, "Yeah, it was Charlie Sheen that raped him." This is all an accusation at this point. It's not a fact. Right. That's just what someone has said. So anyway, it just keeps going deeper and deeper. The whole thing.
You mean Corey Feldman, don't you, though?
Which one's dead? The dead one.
Corey Haim passed away, right?
The dead one was the one that got raped.
So he's the one. Okay, I'm just for our own clarification.
I think that's right.
Because Corey Feldman's been the one living, going around. And
my understanding, yes, it's the one that died is the one who was raped.
Corey Haim.
He was raped while he was living, though. But anyway.
Yeah, I got you. Cue your favorite Sam Kinison joke. Yeah. All right, go. We're moving on.
I shouldn't make a joke of that, but that's actually pretty good. Actually, it's terrible. He was underage when that happened. He was 14 or something. That's really sick. It's really sick. Charlie Sheen did that, man. God, I know he was depraved, but I didn't know he was that bad.
Oh man,
apparently goes a lot deeper.
Well, that goes beyond just like, I was drugged out. I mean, this stuff like goes beyond this crap.
You got Satan in you or something. Man.
Well, it's just permissiveness of people who are protected for whatever reason. If they've become a star and things like that, I mean, people get away. It becomes a separate rule for people, and that goes on way too much in this country. It's one rule for everybody, and if you just apply that to everybody, regardless of, they're really popular, we're getting a lot of money. Like, at some point, morals have to matter, but I'm just the dumb evangelical talking. So,
what was I talking about before we started? What was I saying? That I was going to go somewhere just before the show, and then I was like, "No, we're saving."
We were talking about the three different countries. You got the East Coast, West Coast, and then Middle America. And you wanted to touch on Middle America being, it's a different. It is. We think differently than the mainstream media on the East and West Coast.
Well, I read an article. We were talking about football, and one of the guys on that the Good Morning Football show, which I used to kind of just would leave on as a game ready, which I don't anymore because it's too much. He had said that he was in a cab, and he was somewhere in the middle of America, and the cabbie's like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" And the guy says, "Well, I work for the NFL," and the cabbie was like, "Get the beep out of my cab right now, you piece of beep! I hate all y'all NFL. Y'all have ruined everything. Blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And so that guy was like, he didn't realize. He thought that the whole anthem thing was like, "Oh, no big deal," whatever, and didn't realize in Middle America it's like, no, you are pissing on some toe. You're pissing on sacred ground. As I get right into the mic to pick up the thing that just dropped. Like, you are really, really, you're walking on graves, basically. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
And he didn't really realize that until that point. So my point is, I guess where I'm going with this is, we are in a culture war. It didn't start with Trump. Trump was Brexit. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
For me, all of this, for me personally, it didn't really, for other people, with you, it probably started before Obama even. For me, all of this awareness of this very left versus right extremeness, to me, started with Brexit. Because, like, when Brexit was passed by the British people, I was like, oh, okay. Well, they had a vote and democracy won and they went out and it's a big deal. And then there was this massive, all the late night comedians, everything was like uniform and criticizing people for being nationalistic and all this stuff. And I didn't get it because I was like, well, they had a democratic vote. Right. And they want out. They're a sovereign country. Get out. And I don't really get what the big deal is. I don't know how it's racist or anything else to just get out of a union that you don't be part of. And apparently, the left feels differently about that. I don't know how it connects to racism at all. I don't even remotely get that. But why? And then when America voted in Trump, the same thing happened. Well, we're all racist, and well, we had a democratic vote and we had a democratic process, and yeah, he didn't win the popular, but he won the electoral college, and so put the Russia stuff aside. I can't deal with that. It's another layer I can't deal with. I can only go on the final results here. That's for another conversation.
Yeah.
The final result is he won. So I don't understand. We preach freedom. We preach democratic values. They happen, and then you have this leftist upheaval.
Yeah. But
they're the very ones that also preach democracy too. So, you see my confusion?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the thing in Europe, obviously you have the, whatever you want to call it, the Anglo-Saxon, the Caucasian. There's this whole kind of, like, without saying the term Aryan race, that's kind of it's like a suggestion there that they're afraid if that with all this globalism and then Europe becoming more of a melting pot with the refugees and all that, this is a push to nationalism and to save the whiteness. That's where they're coming from. That's what they're really saying. The liberal
to me,
side
that
of
sounds
things.
like they're just using that. They're made up something to put down a Democratic vote. That seems like
Well, of course, they didn't get their way, so they're going to do identity politics.
Yeah, so they're making up a reason to devalue the vote.
Right. Correct.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Correct. But they do that every time, you know.
So if you don't get your way, I'll construe it some way to make it evil that you won.
Right. Well, Hillary just got through writing a book.
Yeah.
What happened? And it was, again, another like 50 million ways that everyone else was wrong, and she takes zero accountability.
Well, yeah, I heard about
So it's the same thing. It's like, well, no, our liberal policies didn't fail Europe. It couldn't be that. It couldn't be that working class Europeans are out of work and also want to go back to work and want to have better lives. It couldn't be that, and they're looking for different options. It couldn't be that simple. So no, let's demonize.
You said something before we started taping this one that I really wanted to get to.
Okay.
You said, because a lot of this people are the globalist types or whatever, they want us to be citizens of the world, the environment, all the racial things, all that.
Yeah, we want to get to world peace. Can't do that if everyone's nationalist. We got to be globalist.
See, and I strongly disagree with the citizen of the world kind of. I have no problem with being. I think Japan should be nationalist. I think Germany should be nationalist.
Right.
I think England should be nationalist. I think Russia should be. I think China. I think every country should think they're the best.
Right.
And act accordingly. I think Mexico should be like, we're the best. Mexico's the best. Mexico's number one. Let's do what's best for Mexico. We should all do that.
Yeah. To explain this to people, to make them understand, especially like the millennials who get, I don't know what they're hearing in school, but to make this, tell it to you in an example you'll understand, is the family unit. If you've got a family and both parents are there and they're raising the 3 kids and they're making $150,000 together a year, they should be in good standing. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want. You want each family to be in solid ground. The family that's a single parent and they're struggling and the poor mother has got 3 different jobs and she's trying to get a sick kid through school and needs all this kind of help, well, she's going to need more assistance. She's going to need more help. And you want to help her.
Right.
But what's the more ideal situation? The more ideal situation is you can stand on your own 2 feet and be self-sustaining. And that's what nationalism is. If you can be self-sustaining, you're going to have global stability. You're going to have world peace. Because Germany's like, dude, we're like in massive debt. We need a loan from France. Well, that's how you think all that that common market over there, that EU, the European Union, all that started, is because countries were going bankrupt, so they got all together, and it's not working. I know we covered a lot of ground in that 2 minutes, but
and I'm not a naive person. I really am not. I'm not naive, and there's multiple layers that I could talk about that I have not talked about. I've talked about the most vague things just for brevity's sake.
Yeah.
And I understand there's millions of layers to all these different things with the Brexit, with Trump, with the Russian interference. I understand that. I try to keep this like vanilla for brevity of a show. Having said that, I still am somewhat of a simplistic guy that I think you should do what's right for your family first.
Right.
Like, honestly, in my world, me, Trish, Jude, RJ, Paula, and then whatever grandkids I may have come first above even you.
Self-sustaining.
Above you.
Right.
So, like, if RJ comes to me and says, I need help, and you come to me at the exact same time give help, I'd be like, Mark, I got to help RJ. Sorry, buddy.
Exactly.
And, like, that, there's nothing nobody can do about that.
Right.
And, like, that's fine in my eyes. You should understand that.
Right.
And to me, you just take that and you just put that on a country scale. America's first. Well, we need help. Well, okay, cool. We're going to take care of this. And as soon as we get take care of it, we'll help you.
Right.
And if we all did that, bada boom, bada bing, the world's a happy place.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because you have sections that want.
I don't think it takes a village.
Yeah.
It don't take a village. It takes one. It takes a set of parents.
Right.
It takes a village concept bullshit of the 90s can go fuck itself. It does not take a village. It takes two parents raising their own kids.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, I was just gonna. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, and it's that concept of, but the government, we're here to help you. You know, big government is good, and I'm more of a get government out of my way. You know, they should be involved with as little services as possible.
Right.
Because the more, it's kind of like the more people think, oh, the more you have employees working on a particular project, the better, and that's not always the case. There's budget overruns and there's all project delays. Well, just think of that on a government as big as ours. It's going on all the time.
We got to wrap this show up, but I really, as I go through my daily life, I have no agenda other than to prosper my family.
Right.
That is it. When I wake up and start doing work and stuff, is well, I'll do good work for clients and they'll pay me, and that will lead to me getting more clients, and that's all I worry about.
Yeah.
And that's.
Yeah. My goal is in December, I'm more better off than I was in November.
Yeah.
And my goal for January is to be better off than I was in December.
Right.
And so on. And
sometimes I find moments to do something fun that's somewhat selfish. Like, hopefully in May I'll go see you too.
Yeah.
And I think next September, hopefully we'll get to go to California. I haven't told you about that, but so in between, I just work my ass off.
Yeah.
And so I know this identity politics, this agenda-driven society, the social justiceness. I don't get it. I really don't get. I know I always have to qualify when I say, well, I know I'm a middle-aged white guy, but god damn, I really don't see that there's that much needs to be fixed.
Right.
Anyway, I'm probably wrong.
It would be nice if there was less name calling and more understanding where other people are coming from, because it just doesn't seem like there's any of that going on. It's, if you don't believe necessarily in a progressive mindset, that seems like what's going on. If anything other than a progressive mindset, you're just going to get demonized, and people heard that for certainly 8 years going up into the last year's election, and they just quietly said, okay, we'll keep to ourselves, but we'll let you know when we go in the voting booth. We're sick of this. And so that's the message that apparently is not getting through, and I think that's why they're still bewildered, because they're like, this was Camelot Part 2. Why wouldn't you want that to keep going? It's like, not to us. The Great Recession, y'all keep saying, is over. There's many people, many families, we're still in the recession. There's polls that seem like get done every 3 months. Hey, do you still believe we're in a recession? And it's always 60% or more still believe we're in a recession.
Well.
Why do they think that?
Why do they think that?
Yeah.
Why?
Maybe because we still are in one.
So
but just slowly coming out of it.
See, this is a whole now I have a whole nother angle. All right, we have to say goodbye on this show. That's a whole other show now. Adieu.